General Fred C. Weyand, early life and education. Full name: Frederick Carlton Weyand, born September 15, 1916. Arbuckle, California, U.S. Education, University of California. Berkeley degree, Bachelor of Arts, by field of study not publicly specified, but likely. Liberal arts, political science, or a related field given his military path. Graduated 1938, notable while at Berkeley. Weyand was a member of the Reserve Officers Training Corps, ROTC, which prepared him for military commissioning. United States Army Command and General Staff College, location Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. Attended late 1940s or early 1950s, exact date not widely published. Purpose: advanced military education for mid-career. Officers in Leadership, Planning, and Operations, National War College, location Washington, D.C. Graduated class of 1958. Focus: strategic leadership, international security policy, and joint service coordination. Significance: reserved for top-tier senior officers. Helped prepare Weyand for high-level command and policy roles, especially during the Vietnam War and his later appointment as Army Chief of Staff. Honorary degrees, unconfirmed public mentions, while not officially documented in public military records. It's common for U.S. generals of his rank to receive honorary doctorates from military or civilian institutions. Post-retirement, however, no specific honorary degrees are publicly confirmed for Weyand. Higher education: enrolled at the University of California, Berkeley in the mid-1930s. Graduated in 1938 with a Bachelor of Arts degree. While at Berkeley, joined the Reserve Officers Training Corps, ROTC, developed leadership and military discipline. Through ROTC training, laid the foundation for his future Army career. Military commission upon graduation from UC Berkeley in 1938. Weyand was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the U.S. Army through ROTC. This marked the beginning of what would become a 38-year career in military service. Character and early influences: Weyand's early life during the Great Depression shaped his resilience, sense of duty, and commitment to public service. His academic discipline and ROTC experience were crucial in preparing him for the challenges of World War II and beyond. Military career overview: 1938-1976 commission and early career 1938 to 1941. Commissioned as a second lieutenant in the U.S. Army after graduating from UC Berkeley via ROTC, assigned to a stateside infantry unit before World War II. Focused on training and preparation during the pre-war build-up. World War II service, 1941 to 1945. Served in Army intelligence and combat operations in the China-Burma-India Theater, CBI. Played key roles in organizing logistics, operations, and intelligence support for Allied operations against Japanese forces. Gained valuable leadership experience in multinational coalition operations. Post-World War II. Assignments and Cold War growth, 1945 to 1960s. Held staff and command roles in occupied Japan and later in the United States. Served as a military advisor and planner at the Pentagon. Attended and graduated from the Command and General Staff College and later the National War College, 1958. Became deeply involved in Cold War strategic planning, training, and leadership development. Vietnam War Command roles: 1960-1973. Key assignments in Vietnam. Commander, 25th Infantry Division, 1964-1967, based in Siu Chi, South Vietnam. Led large-scale counterinsurgency operations in the Mekong Delta and surrounding areas, known for balancing combat effectiveness with concern for troop morale. Commander, 2 Field Force Vietnam. Oversaw a major tactical command of over 100,000 troops, responsible for a wide operational area near Saigon. Played a crucial role during the Tet Offensive 1968. His foresight and troop movements helped defend key positions. Deputy Commander, MACV Military Assistance Command. Vietnam. Worked under General Creighton Abrams. managing U.S. strategy during troop withdrawals. Commander, U.S. Military Assistance Command. Viet McFay, 1972-1973 final U.S. Commander in Vietnam. Oversaw Vietnamization and final troop withdrawal phases, advocated a realistic view of the North Vietnamese threat, and supported a cautious withdrawal strategy. Chief of Staff of the U.S. Army 1970–1976, appointed by President Gerald Ford after the Vietnam War. Led the Army through the transition to an all-volunteer force of VF following the end of the draft, focused on rebuilding morale and professionalism, improving recruitment, training, and career development, advocating for modernization and leadership reform. Promoted ethical leadership and a people-first philosophy in a post-war military. Retirement tried in 1976. After 38 years of service, one of the few officers who held major commands in both World War II and Vietnam, widely respected for his integrity, quiet leadership, and ability to manage difficult transitions. Chief of Staff, U.S. Army 1974–1976 appointment and context appointed. October 1974 by President Gerald R. Ford. Predecessor, General Creighton W. Abrams, deceased, 1974. Tenure, 1974–1976 era. Post-Vietnam War transition. Beginning of all-volunteer force of VF. Cold War military reassessment of Vietnam. The U.S. military, particularly the Army, was facing low morale, declining public trust, high drug use and disciplinary issues, budget constraints, end of the draft. The Army was transitioning to an all-volunteer force, a VF, which created recruitment and retention challenges. Cold War readiness. Despite drawdowns, the U.S. still faced global threats from the Soviet Union, requiring strategic modernization. Major reforms and initiatives. 1. People-first leadership emphasized troop morale, training, and leadership ethics. Promoted professional development of non-commissioned officers. NCOs supported improvement in living conditions and military family support. 2. Support for the all-volunteer force. AVF advocated for better pay, benefits, and incentives to attract quality recruits, helps shape Army image and branding to support voluntary enlistment. Oversaw early adjustments in recruitment standards and training programs. 3. Post-Vietnam modernization encouraged a shift toward readiness for large-scale conflict, especially in Europe. Focused on combined arms doctrine and rebuilding mechanized units. Supported reforms, 2-unit rotation systems and reserve integration. 4. Restoration of Army integrity, worked to re-establish Army professionalism and discipline. Emphasized leadership accountability at all levels, known for his quiet, steady leadership style. Calm but firm. Key achievement: stabilized Army morale after the Vietnam War. Laid the groundwork for the modern professional Army. Promoted a soldier-focused culture before it became a formal doctrine. Helped prevent further deterioration in Army readiness during a critical transition period. Legacy as Chief of Staff, regarded as a healing and transitional leader. More focused on restoring core values than seeking the spotlight. Remembered for his realism, moral leadership, and ability to guide the Army through a time of internal crisis. Seen as one of the last Vietnam-era generals to shape the future of the modern U.S. Army. Higher Education, University of California. Barclay degree, Bachelor of Arts, BA, graduated 1938 program. Likely in liberal arts or political science, exact major not officially specified. Notable involvement: member of the Reserve Officers Training Corps, ROTC, commissioned as a second lieutenant upon graduation. Significance. You see? Berkeley laid the academic and leadership foundation for his entry into the U.S. Army. United States Army Command and General Staff College. Location: Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. Completed Late 1940s or early 1950s exact year, not publicly confirmed. Purpose: advanced education in operational leadership, planning, logistics. And combined arms warfare attendee profile: mid-career officers preparing for brigade and division-level commands. National War College location: Washington, D.C. Graduated. 1958 focus areas: national security strategy, joints, service, military, planning, diplomacy and defense policy, integration, peer network, attended with other future generals, ambassadors, and national security leaders. Impact: prepared him for high-level strategic and policy roles, including later command in Vietnam and service as Chief of Staff.